Hello everyone, my name is Rarugu, and I decided to make a bit of series. And that series is going to be about how to build Diablo II Resurrected characters, how to build up an account. I've played online quite a bit, and playing online is very interesting to me. It's fun, particularly the trading aspect, the aspect of, playing together with other people, then getting what most people want, and then gaining up value. And after I gain that value, I trade it for what I want, and then improve my own account, my own characters. But what if you're a new player? What if you don't know anything about the game, and you don't know where to start? That's why I want to make this series. I want to make this series so that if people want to explore the game on their own, don't really want to interact with other people, or they would like an advice because they're unsure of what to do, I think this will be helpful. So I'll go over the characters and what they are and what they do and what they're good at. In my perception, I'm not saying that they're not good at other things. It's, I think, important to understand how those classes interact with others. That being said, I haven't played every class in depth, and perhaps doing this will be a learning experience for me as well. It certainly will be. I would say that the class that I don't know much about, the two classes, are the Assassin and the Amazon. I haven't put too much effort into them, so it will be fun to play them eventually. So let's go over the classes, and I'll start with the Amazon. She is typically a ranged character if you play a bow or a crossbow, and the other option is to play with the spear. When I tried playing that character on the normal difficulty, it is kind of fun to shoot around and all that, but I think that what I would enjoy more is to play a poisonous Amazon, which is what I will do probably later, to wield a spear and use poison as my damage dealing element. Assassin has traps, mostly, like Trap Assassin is very popular, that casts lightning or fire. Other assassins do melee attacks. Melee assassins typically used as a specialist in order to do endgame. There's a certain endgame content called Ubers, and Kick Assassin, it can be quite good at this. So yeah, I don't know much about the Assassin. I haven't played Assassin extensively. While I did level the character to explore it and play it later online, I don't want to speak too much about it. Necromancer. I think that Necromancer is excellent as a support character. Necromancer can help you build up. So there are two types of Necros that, probably three types of Necromancers that I would identify. One, which is what I really like, is the Summoner Necromancer. The specialty of that kind of character is mostly building up a tank wall, and corpse explosion deals a whole bunch of damage. Like, all you need is to just kill one enemy and you explode the rest while the skeletons support you. And then you can curse the enemies to enhance the physical damage of your skeletons or allied party members. On top of that, you can reduce their elemental resistances or make them move slower. Decrepify, for example, is a wonderful spell. So Summoner Necro with Corpse Explosion as the source of damage is excellent. The other type of Necromancer is a Bone Spear or Teeth Necromancer, maybe Bone Spear. Bone Spear is typically the type of Necromancer that a lot of people play. That type of Necro deals magical damage, which basically means until Hell difficulty, you won't run into problems too much. You just need to, make sure you have enough mana, and then you'll do fine in normal and in Nightmare. Really good. Poisonous Necromancer. I have not built a Poison Necro, and it would be interesting to explore, but I gotta pick, do I want to do Poisonous Amazon or Poison Necro, and it's probably going to be the Amazon that will be the character that uses poison. The next class, Barbarian. Barbarian, I would say, because it's a melee wielding class more than anything. You can make a throw bar, but that's after you've acquired quite a bit of gear. You can respec and whatnot. Sure. Barbarian is really good at buffing the party. Barbarian, while you do have, at level 30, you can get a skill called Berserk, which gives him magical damage to deal with physical immunities. But the main strength of the Barbarian is Barbarian's ability to enhance total life pool, mana pool of the party, and make them overall stronger. Whirlwind Barbarian is quite fun. But yeah, it's the ability to enhance the toughness of the party as a whole is the main strength. And there's not really much to say about that. Not much more. And then you can pick a weapon type that you want to specialize in and kind of focus on that to improve the damage output. It's a really good tank. Barbarian is a really, really good tank. I will talk about the Druid next. Recently, we got some updates in patch 2.4. It said that the Summoner Druid can be strong, the Druid that summons wolves and spirits and whatnot. There are two types of Druids. There's Elemental Druid, which deals either fire damage or cold and physical damage, with tornadoes and hurricanes and whatnot. And the next type of Druid is let's say 3, right? The next type of Druid is typically the melee Druid, which is either a Werebear Druid or a Werewolf Druid, where you have a spirit that circles around you, improves your damage output, and you can be a wolf or a bear, as I said, and you can do a lot of damage, just rip enemies apart. Quite strong. Haven't played it much. Personally, my favorite Druid is the Hurricane Druid. The sound of the hurricane whirling around, I really, really like that. And the third type of Druid, which some people started to explore, is the Summoner Druid. I might play around with that afterwards later in the series. It seems very interesting to do, to kind of explore that aspect of the class. Yeah, I'm actually quite interested in seeing what that can do. The next type of character is the Paladin. Paladin is probably the easiest to play. Why is the Paladin the easiest to play? Because it is highly versatile. The auras that the Paladin has allow him to basically be the jack of all trades. Immunities is not an issue for the Paladin, and if Paladin is in the party and it uses later types of auras such as Conviction or Fanaticism, it boosts overall attack or reduces the resistances of enemies. It deals with immunities really well. Hammerdin, which is a type of paladin that casts holy hammers that deal magical damage. Most monsters in game cannot deal with that, and if you have enough mana supply and you get that rune word, which many cover, it's called Enigma, then it's basically what is referred to as the noob tube. If you know how to get your Enigma quick enough, you just stand there and murder everything. Very easy all around. So if you just want to be a great supporting class, great supporting character, if you're not sure what to do and how to build a class even, then getting the paladin and focusing on one particular type, it's mostly a melee class. It doesn't really, well, hammers, they do deal range damage, but it's a little bit complicated. It's not that much more complicated. But if you pick the paladin and you just have some supporting aura for the entire party, you'll be fine. If you start a paladin and you pick the first aura like Holy Fire or something like that, and you just go out with that and focus your damage on fire, you'll be able to deal with most enemies in normal and in nightmare. That's not going to be a problem for you, and you'll be fine. There are other aspects of the game that allow you to not have mana problems and all that. I'll go into that later. And the last but not least, in fact, it is going to be the first character that I play with, Sorceress. Why is it last but not least? It's probably the first. Is because the Sorceress's strength, she is by far, bar none, the most mobile class in the game because of one skill, and that skill is called the teleport. If you want to explore the game, if you want to look at the areas of the game, enjoy the design of the game, and see what it's like quicker than anything else, if you want to move through the story and get to your hell difficulty faster than any other character, then Sorceress is by far the choice. The problem with the Sorceress is that in the hell difficulty you must have dual element. When I say you must, it's a bit of a overstatement, but really it's going to be quite difficult to deal with monsters that are immune to elemental damage. Typically, in normal and in nightmare, that's not an issue at all. In hell, however, monsters are immune to at least one type of element, whether it's physical or cold or fire or poison, whatever. And some monsters are immune to multiple types. But before hell difficulty, Sorceress, especially in nightmare, she's going to blossom a lot more because you get access to certain power-ups and certain rune words that are easy to get and are very, very powerful. Sorceress is what I will start with in order to get this ball rolling. There is another aspect to it. Because she is so mobile, Sorceress is the fastest at gathering resources. So, if you made it this far in the video, I would say that, and by the way, thank you if you did, the way to build your account, right, if you have nothing, one of the most efficient ways to build your account is to get a character that can move fast, right? Because you can get through the content faster. Does that mean the Sorceress is the best to start your ladder with? Not necessarily. I'm not saying that at all. If you're playing solo, and since in Diablo II Resurrected you may share content between your characters, you should start with the Sorceress, right? Does that mean that it's the best? Again, I'll say no, it's not. If you want to experience a particular fantasy, whether it's the Amazon or the Necromancer or the Sorceress, have at it. It's fine. But for efficiency's sake, starting with the Sorceress is better. because once you get that ball rolling and you're at least a nightmare and you can get some rune words for your other characters and you can gather some gold, then the rest of that ball is going to roll quicker, because one of the important aspects of the game is to be able to get some of the starting gear. And that's the surface overview of what the classes are and how they, in my mind, should be used. I am looking forward to exploring the Amazon and the Assassin more. It's just that, I don't want to speak too much about the classes that I'm not as experienced with. It is an interesting project to do, though. So, if you have questions about this game, fundamental questions, then leave a comment. I will answer, and you and I, we can play on ladder together. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will find this useful, this little introductory video, and I'll see you next time.